for a rotation, and that is exactly what we have. So this right now is a radar indicated tornado. No confirmation just yet that this tornado is actually touched down, it's on the ground, but this is certainly concerning to see on the radar, and it does appear to be fairly organized. We do have a pretty good notch or a pretty good area of rotation showing up here. So once again, Bear Creek, Magnolia, Liberty Hill. If you are in any of these locations in San Jacinto County, you definitely need to be seeking shelter, taking your tornado precautions very seriously. If you're not sure what to do, maybe you are a fan, you're visiting, you're here for the big game, and you don't really know what to do in these situations, you certainly need to try to get inside of a sturdy building. Try to get away from any outside walls, any windows. A good idea would be to head to an interior hallway, maybe a closet, maybe an interior bathroom. If you're in a house, if you're in a building, just try to get to the lowest level. If you're at work, just try to stay away from the windows. Try to stay away from those upper levels because you want to try to protect yourself from any flying debris. So we've got meteorologist John Dawson here. He's assisting me and he's going to be helping me. We're both doing a lot behind the scenes trying to track these storms and keep you updated with what's going on. So he's going to look and see if we have any confirmation that we do actually have a tornado here, but you can certainly see it on our velocity mode. Now the area where I have it circled here, the rotation has started to track off to the north and east of that. So the possible tornado, if we have one, is going to be right around Liberty Hill. That is going to be the area of concern right now. You can clearly see the wind flowing towards and away from the radar. That green and red, that notch there, that is the area of rotation, the area of circulation, and that is where we are most concerned that we could potentially have a tornado. So we are going to be monitoring this very closely because we do have the threat, the potential for that possible tornado. I'm actually going to go and clear this telestration off so you can see that we do have an update on where we do have the strongest rotation at this point, and that is going to be, as I mentioned, up around the Liberty Hill area. So let me clear this and kind of zoom back out once again so you can see right around Liberty Hill. That is the area that we are most concerned about, and I do want to switch back to reflectivity mode and give you an idea of what this cell looks like on reflectivity mode as well. So it does not have a strong hook signature to it, but we are definitely seeing that rotation inside of this storm. And so this is going to be a tornado warning that does include, the entire tornado warning includes the cities of Cold Spring, Goodrich, and Onalaska. And we do have this severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado, and it was located 9 miles southwest of Cold Spring. This was at 2:06 p.m. or about 12 miles northwest of Cleveland, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So it is racing. So this is radar indicated at this point. Storm spotters have not officially made a confirmation that this is an actual tornado on the ground doing damage, but it is indicated on radar. So definitely remember, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur, and tree damage is likely. So I'm actually going to reset the radar view here. Storm track at this point is around 50 miles per hour. So I want to try to put a track on this for you. I'm actually going to switch back to velocity mode, and I'm going to track this storm from the area of rotation. This is going to be where the possible tornado is located. So we're going to take it northeast around 50, and there you have it. So this is the latest track for this. So if you are in Magnolia or Liberty Hill, you need to be seeking shelter. Once again, this is a tornado warning. This is for Magnolia and Liberty Hill specifically. That is the area of concern. I think it's more Liberty Hill at this point, but this tornado is racing off to the northeast if we in fact have one on the ground, but it is a possible tornado at this point. And if it does hold together, it would reach the Goodrich area in about 14 minutes. And Livingston, it would reach you in about 20 minutes. And so this tornado warning is going to continue at least until 2:30, until we start to see this rotation weakening. But you can clearly see that rotation on radar. Right now, it is between Cold Spring and it's also close to Liberty Hill. So in between Cold Spring and Liberty Hill, that is where we have the worst of this rotation. So if we did have a tornado in this, that's where it would be, and it is tracking pretty quickly off to the north and east. So I'm more concerned at this point, or most concerned, for Cold Spring and for Liberty Hill. If we do have a tornado, this is exactly where it would be. So once again, this is a tornado warning. This is for northeastern Montgomery County, southwestern San Jacinto County, and southwestern Polk County in southeast Texas until 2:30 p.m. But the actual area of rotation is in between Cold Spring and Liberty Hill. So we are going to continue to track this, and we're going to continue to monitor this, because this is certainly an area of concern, because we could have a possible tornado developing right now. Once again, northeastern Montgomery County, southwestern San Jacinto County, and southwestern Polk County in this tornado. I'm actually going to look and see what we've got from the National Weather Service here and give you an update on what's going on, because it looks like we now have a possible confirmed tornado in this, and that, of course, is a much more severe situation. So I'm going to give you an update on what we have here. It says from the National Weather Service that trained spotters have confirmed the tornado in the warned storm in San Jacinto County. So that is not good news, but it's basically what we've been telling you. We've had this setup in the atmosphere where we were thinking that we could potentially have a very dangerous day, and this is basically how it's turning out. So we are all under a tornado watch. So if you are in Houston, you're not under a tornado warning at this point, but you are under the tornado watch. Right now, though, we do have the tornado warning for this cell right over San Jacinto County, and the worst of it right over the Liberty Hill area, approaching Cold Spring, and it is racing, moving very quickly off to the north and east. And it continues to look pretty impressive on our radar. We are looking in velocity mode, so we can see that rotation, and you can clearly see that green next to the red. This is the area of strongest rotation right between Cold Spring and also Liberty Hill. I do still have the track on here. It is heading towards Goodrich. If this holds together, it would reach you in 11 minutes, and it would reach the Livingston area in about 17 minutes if this does hold together. At this point, this tornado warning is set to expire around 2:30 p.m. We'll wait and see if the National Weather Service does extend this, but for now, this looks pretty concerning. And you did notice that our polygon was red for that tornado warning, but it kind of switched more to a purple color, because before we had a tornado warning, now we have a confirmed tornado warning. So basically, this radar indicated tornado has officially been confirmed by our storm spotters, so this is certainly a dangerous situation. We're not sure if the tornado is still on the ground doing damage right now, but we know that it has at least touched down, and it was on the ground at some point. So we are going to continue to monitor this closely. This is certainly a very dangerous situation, and I'm going to continue to show you different views of the radar, but I do want to zoom in and show you this area of rotation that we have at this point. So once again, this is the area of concern. It's now just to the south and southeast of Cold Spring, northeast of Liberty Hill, west of Urbana, and off to the south and west of Goodrich. So I'm actually going to take this track off. I'm going to clear everything off here, and I'm going to do an updated track for you. But once again, this is a confirmed tornado warning. This is up around San Jacinto County, and it will be pushing into Polk County over the next several minutes. But I'm actually going to circle the area of concern here. This is going to be right around Cold Spring, just to the north and east of Liberty Hill, and now approaching Camilla. So this is going to be the area where we are concerned that, yes, there could still be a tornado here. This was a report from trained storm spotters. They have confirmed that the tornado in the warm storm in San Jacinto County did actually touch down. So that is a confirmed report, and we have several other cells developing out there, so you certainly need to stay weather aware and just make sure that you are ready to get inside and get to your safe place and seek shelter immediately. All right, I'm going to zoom back out. I want to put an updated track on this for you, but I did just want to zoom in and show you some of that rotation. But I do want to put an updated storm track on this for you. This is the area of concern here, and it was reported to be moving to the northeast very fast, around 50 miles per hour. So we're going to do an updated track. There is the confirmed tornado warning. I'm going to put that over here, and then we've got the track. All right, if you are in Goodrich, it should reach you in 7 minutes, Livingston in 13 minutes. So this is still very concerning that we do have this storm that has produced a tornado. Still no indication if it is still on the ground at this point, but we do have confirmation that we have at least had our first tornado of the day. All right, I do want to switch back to our reflectivity mode and just basically give you an overview of what is happening with these cells. Time right now is 2:24. You can see that we've got multiple lines of showers and storms out there, but the worst of the weather up towards San Jacinto County and also eventually pushing into Polk County. This is where we have the tornado warning. We've just got scattered showers in Houston, so if you are wondering if there is any sort of severe weather going on in Houston right now, the good news is that we do not have any severe weather at this point for Houston. Houston is under the tornado watch. We are all under the tornado watch until 9 p.m. However, the worst of the weather now occurring up into San Jacinto County, and that's going to be pushing into Polk County. So if you are up towards the Livingston area, you certainly need to be seeking shelter and taking precautions, because we have had confirmation of a tornado touchdown up just to the south and west of the Livingston area. So certainly this is a dangerous situation. We have a very volatile atmosphere out there, so we've got more showers and storms that are bubbling up and getting stronger back to the west. We've got a big line of strong and severe storms back around Gonzales. We had severe thunderstorm warnings for that. It looks like we do still have a warning for that as well. So we have the threat there for 60-mile-per-hour winds, a lot of heavy rain, and some dangerous lightning. So we're going to have to monitor that line, because it will likely be pushing right into the Houston area around 4 to 5 p.m. But more importantly, we do still have this tornado warning, where we do have confirmation that a tornado actually touched down up around San Jacinto County. So this tornado warning going through 2:30 p.m. and time right now is 2:25. So of course, if the rotation continues to be as strong as it is, we will have probably a continuation of that tornado warning. But for now, it is set to expire right around 2:30. So I am going to switch back to a closer view of what's going on with this tornado, and it does look like the rotation in this is not quite as strong as it was before, but we are still seeing that potential rotation there. This is going to be east of Cold Spring, west of Goodrich, and west of Urbana, south of Moore Hill. All right, so this is where we have confirmation of that tornado. The tornado warning remains in effect until 2:30 p.m. for central San Jacinto and southwestern Polk counties. At 2:22 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located near Lake Livingston State Park, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Hazard damaging tornado. Weather spotters confirmed the tornado near Lower Van Road and also FM 2025 in San Jacinto County. So once again, weather spotters confirmed the tornado near Lower Van Road and also FM 2025 in San Jacinto County. So that is the location where we did have the tornado touching down. It is racing to the north and east, so it's no longer in that area right now. It's just to the east of Cold Spring, west of Goodrich, and north and west of Urbana. It is this area here where you see the green right next to the red. That is what we call an area of circulation or rotation within this cell, and that is an indication that we have a potential tornado still there. So as this pushes off to the north and east, this is going to be approaching Livingston. So if you are in Livingston and you are watching the support, certainly make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. You do still have a little bit of time, but it is getting closer. If you are in Goodrich, this storm should reach you in about the next 3 minutes or so. And also if you're in Livingston, it should reach you in about the next 9 minutes.
Okay, hey Ramisha, it's meteorologist John Dawson. Just wanted to jump in here and join you with some of this coverage just to let you know that the National Weather Service, that current tornado warning is expected to expire at 2:30. But even though there's been a weakening of that rotation, the confirmed tornado plus the threat still continues for it to either produce another tornado or this one to stay on the ground even longer. All that to say, the tornado warning will be extended. So currently that warning is until 2:30, but we're expecting that to be extended quite shortly. That'll begin to happen. Again, I think it's a big deal. If you have folks that you know in the Lake Livingston State Park area, really anybody on Lake Livingston, now's the time to reach out and connect to those people. This is a powerful storm. Even if it loses its rotation, by the time it gets to Lake Livingston and all of those communities around the lake itself, it will certainly be making an impact on that. So the confirmed tornado, again, was from a trained spotter as it was on the ground, more or less just south of Cold Spring. We're in San Jacinto County that we're talking about. The movement is to the northeast. This system has been traveling as fast as 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take over that update on where we're looking at, Ramisha, on this storm system.
Yeah, I just went ahead and put on some of the storm reports because the tornado that has been confirmed is now popping up on our storm report. So I want to show you exactly where that's located. You can see it's very close to the Liberty Hill area, south and east of Evergreen. This is a confirmed tornado, and this was actually about 6 miles south of Cold Spring. And the time of the tornado confirmation right around 2:17 p.m. And once again, about 6 miles south of Cold Spring. So this is in San Jacinto County. This is a confirmed tornado, our first tornado warning of the day and the first confirmed tornado of the day. We were very concerned for the last several days, and especially today, that we had a very volatile atmosphere. We had a lot of spin, a lot of shear in the atmosphere, and as this system moved in, we were concerned that we could potentially get some of these storms popping up and producing rotation that could develop into tornadoes. So at this point, the system is moving very quickly. It has pushed off to the north and east. If you are in Cold Spring, if you are in Liberty Hill, you're out of the woods now. Right now, you are not in any immediate danger, but the worst of this storm, the actual part of the storm that could still potentially have a bit of rotation that could maybe produce another brief tornado, would be moving closer to the Livingston area, moving into Goodrich now and Livingston in about the next 5 or 6 minutes. So we are going to be monitoring this very closely. The rotation has gotten a little bit weaker, but overall it is still a tornado warning, and this is for a cell that has produced a tornado in the past, not long ago, down towards the Liberty Hill area. We did have confirmation of that tornado. So this is certainly still a dangerous situation. If you are in other parts of Southeast Texas, if you're in Houston, you certainly don't want to let your guard down just because this is happening up into San Jacinto and Polk counties now. This is a dangerous situation because we are all in an enhanced or increased risk for severe storms that could develop into tornadoes today. So this is something we will continue to monitor closely. But right now, if you are in Livingston, you need to be in your safe place. If you're not sure what to do, you don't want to be outside. If you can get inside a sturdy building, try to get there as quick as you can. Try to avoid those outside walls. Try to avoid being close to windows as a tornado comes through. If it's going to blow something down, those outside walls would be the first to go, and windows get blown out easily as well. So you want to try to put yourself in the safest place possible. So that's going to be the lowest level of your home or whatever building you're in. Try to get to the most interior portion of that building, an interior hallway. A closet would be a good idea. An interior bathroom would be a great idea, and try to get as low as you can. If you've got something around your house that you can put on to protect yourself, like a helmet, that would be a great idea. You want to try to protect your head from any flying debris. You also want to try to protect the rest of your body. So if you can grab a pair of sneakers, a pair of shoes, and put those on, that would be a good idea as well. I know when I went through a tornado as a teenager, we dragged the mattress off of the bed and put that on top of us as we went and got in the closet. So if you have time to do that, that would be a good idea as well. This system is getting very close to Livingston. So if you are in Livingston, hopefully you have made it to your safe place and you are taking this very seriously, because this is still a very dangerous cell. We are going to continue to monitor things closely, but like I said, the major news is that we do have a confirmed tornado, and this was going to be 6 miles south of Cold Spring, and this happened right around 2:17 p.m.
Ramesh, I just wanted to jump in once again here for an update on some of the discussions that are happening. There's a strong cell to the west of Lake Livingston that is now the main concern. No, I shouldn't say the main concern. It's getting more attention, let me put it that way, with the way it's forming. Point Blank is the town that's right on the west side of Lake Livingston. And if you're in that area, or basically the west of Lake Livingston, that storm system is the one that is intensifying, while the one that was basically on top of the city of Livingston right now, that is somewhat weakening. It is the one that definitely had the tornado. It is still a threat. It's still a concern. But as we look over into the area to the west side of Lake Livingston, that's where the storm system is beginning to strengthen a little bit more in intensity.
Boom, just as you say that, JD, what do we get? A brand new tornado warning.
All right, let's go ahead and give you the official stats on this. Tornado warning for northwest San Jacinto County, as well as central Polk County. This is going to last until 3:15, as we've just been talking about, to the west of Livingston, about 17 miles, or near Point Blank, moving at around 40 miles per hour. So this storm system is moving at around 40 miles per hour. Again, at this point, it's radar indicated. So we don't have a spotter yet on the ground that saw or has confirmed a tornado, unlike what we saw with the other storm near Magnolia in the area of central San Jacinto County. This on the west side is where we're focused on. We're wanting to make sure that we're being safe. We're wanting to make sure that this is the time that you need to take action.
Yes, you're right, JD. This is certainly a serious situation. It's not often that we get upgraded to a category 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather and an enhanced risk for tornadoes and larger EF2 or greater tornadoes. So it looks like this is panning out. We were hoping we would escape this threat, but it looks like it is here, and you need to take it seriously because these storms are starting to fire up, and this is now our second tornado warning of the day. So this is going to be a tornado warning up around San Jacinto County, and as you can see, it is going to be through 3:15 p.m. Time right now is 2:35 p.m. and the area of rotation that we look for, basically we look for winds flowing towards and away from the radar. The green up against the red, this notch here in between Willow Springs and Snow Hill. This is going to be the area of greatest concern for that possible tornado. So if you are in Snow Hill, if you are in Point Blank, if you are in Willow Springs, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. This is not a drill. This is not a watch. This is an actual tornado warning. So that means the threat, the danger is imminent, and you certainly need to be getting inside to the lowest level, to the most interior hallway or room, and just try to protect yourself from this possible tornado, from any possible debris that will be flying and swirling around if this is in fact a tornado that we have on the ground. At this point, this one is just radar indicated. We have not had confirmation from any storm spotters that we do have a tornado on the ground here, but it is looking more impressive. It's pulsing up, it's strengthening on the radar, and we could in fact have that. Area of concern, as I mentioned, is going to stretch from Point Blank down to Snow Hill, down to Willow Springs, and this is pushing off to the north and east very quickly, around 40 miles per hour. So the good news, this is not rolling right through the middle of Houston with very highly populated areas, but it is still rolling through some of our more rural areas. So it should reach you in Onalaska if it holds together in about the next 12 minutes with this northeasterly track, northeasterly movement. So still just be very cautious if you are in any of these spots. Once again, Point Blank, you're in the midst of this threat. Snow Hill, Willow Springs, and in about 10 to 12 minutes, it will be up around the Onalaska area. So certainly just be very cautious. We've already had the cell just to the east of this one with a confirmed tornado, and this one could quickly pulse up and produce a tornado also. So once again, this is a tornado warning. This is going to be north of the Houston metro area. This is going to be up around San Jacinto County, and it is through 3:15 p.m. Time right now is 2:37 p.m. These are very fast moving cells, and they can pulse up and strengthen very quickly and put out a tornado quickly and then roll along. But of course, any tornado can do major damage from small to medium to large. So you want to make sure that you are taking this seriously. And as I mentioned, that is the area of concern down around Point Blank to Snow Hill to Willow Springs. JD, are you getting any updates on any possible confirmation of this tornado or any other information as far as any damage with this cell?
Yeah, we're continuing to monitor all of our different sources, and the short answer is no. We don't have anything that's been more updated than what we've been sharing. Again, just to kind of review that. Just to clarify, we have 2 separate tornado warnings at the same time for the Fox 26 viewing area. This is not a common scenario for us. Typically, you'll get a warning and then it'll get updated so it looks like a second warning, but that is not what's happening right now. We actually have 2 separate tornado warnings at the same time happening for the city of Houston. On your screen, we've got the red one indicating the newer one, the more fresh one that's been issued, and then the sort of the pinker shaded one, the purplish shaded one, that was the older one. That's the storm that's weakening a bit, and then of course the one that's still intensifying is the one that's over on the west side of town. So I'll continue to keep an eye on things over here, looking for that information coming in, but at the moment, we're again watching the Point Blank area for that storm intensifying, and the tornado warnings are still in effect for both of these for at least 5 more minutes, and then we'll see if the Weather Service wants to continue the original one, which is the one that's got the storm on top of the Lake Livingston area right now.
That's right, JD. I want to go back to that one because I don't want to leave those folks out. I was warning the Lake Livingston area earlier that we do have that potential tornado, but up around Livingston, if we still had anything as far as a possible tornado in this, it would be right around the Livingston area right now, and it is tracking to the north and east. We have not received any additional reports at this point that we have a tornado in Livingston right now, but if we were to have one, that is the location that it would be. Now, you may be wondering, why are these tornado warnings in different colors? Well, the tornado warning that you see off to the east is in purple because that is what we call a confirmed tornado warning. We actually had a tornado confirmation with that first tornado warning. This tornado warning is still shaded in red because we have not received any actual confirmation from spotters that we actually have a tornado here, but this is radar indicated, still a pretty decent, pretty strong area of rotation, and this is going to be up to the east and southeast of the Point Blank area, very close to the Snow Hill area, and north and east of Willow Springs. So these are the areas of concern up around San Jacinto County, Polk County. These are the areas that have the strongest rotation. But I still don't want you to let your guard down if you are in Houston or down around Galveston, because we are all under a tornado watch until 9 p.m. and we do have that threat for more of these showers and storms breaking out. I actually want to go back and show you an overview of what we're expecting today. This is what we call a significant tornado threat. You don't see this in the Houston area very often, but Houston up towards San Jacinto County, parts of Montgomery County, and off to the east, Baytown, Texas City, Galveston, under a threat for significant tornadoes today through the evening hours. And that basically means we could have some pretty long track, long-lived tornadoes, larger than what we're normally used to seeing here, EF2 or greater, as we go through the next few hours. So this is certainly something that we are monitoring closely because it doesn't happen that often for this area. So we are kind of seeing this pan out because we do have a couple of tornado warnings at this point. So I do want to switch back to our velocity mode, and I do want to give you an idea of what is happening here with these storms. I'm actually going to clear a few things off here, and I want to be able to show you both of these areas of rotation. The first tornado warning still showing some decent circulation or some decent rotation in it, and it has pushed off to the east of Livingston, up around Israel, Livingston, so that is going to be the area of concern there. But the stronger area of rotation is now approaching Blanchard, and the West Tempe area. This is going to be just south of Onalaska and southwest of Bold Springs. So we are up into San Jacinto County, and this is going to be into Polk County as well. So the first cell up around Polk County, and then the second over into San Jacinto and Polk counties. So we do still have two areas of rotation that we are closely monitoring. The first right around Livingston, and the second approaching Blanchard. This is going to be east of Point Blank. So if you are just joining me, I want to give you an overview of what's going on. We've got a tornado watch for the entire area until 9 p.m. That does include Houston, of course. So that means the atmosphere is favorable for the development of these thunderstorms that could quickly rotate and put out a tornado. But more importantly, we still have two tornado warnings at this time, and these are going to be up around San Jacinto and Polk counties, and we are closely monitoring that area of rotation. You can see the area of rotation there is just to the east of Livingston. You can kind of see that little notch there. If we did still have a tornado in that one, it would be in between Livingston and Israel, and it is tracking off to the north and east. So this is tornado warning number one. It is shaded in purple because we've already had a confirmed tornado out of that storm cell. Now let's hop over to tornado warning number two. It's off to the west of that one. This one quickly pulsed up and got strong on us and started to rotate. And the National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for this one as well. So it was very close to Point Blank, Snow Hill, and down around the Stephen Creek area and Willow Springs, but it is moving pretty quickly. I think around 40 miles per hour off to the north and east. So it is quickly approaching the Onalaska area, but I think the area where we could have the strongest rotation is going to get closer to West Tempe and also Blanchard. So if you're in Onalaska, you're getting a lot of heavy rainfall, but you are likely going to miss the strongest part of this cell. I think the area with the possible tornado is going to be right around Blanchard and the West Tempe area. You can clearly see that we have some very strong rotation here. This is what we look for inside of these storm cells, that wind flowing towards and away from the radar, and you basically have a very strong area of rotation here. So usually when we see that type of signature on the radar, we are very concerned that yes, we could have a tornado, and that is why the National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for that cell. Now the cell off to the east, just to the east of Livingston, very close to Israel, the circulation or the rotation is still fairly strong in this one as well. So this is one that we are going to continue to monitor. This one is pushing off to the north and east, so it is going to be approaching Ollie likely over the next 10 to 15 minutes, and it will continue its track off to the north and east. So fortunately, no tornado warnings for the city of Houston right now. The worst of the weather remains off to the north and northeast up around San Jacinto and Polk counties, but we still have two cells that are capable of still producing a tornado. They're still radar indicated at this point, but the first cell did put a tornado down around the Lake Livingston area. So let's continue to be very cautious because these storms are still pulsing up. They do remain strong, and we do have the potential for more of these storms to go into a severe level and produce another tornado. I want to bring JD in. JD, do you have any updates on any storm damage or any other reports of a possible tornado touchdown?
Yeah, I do not have any reports of any more damage or the tornado. I just want to bring a little bit into effect. We've been very focused on San Jacinto County, all that area around Lake Livingston, rightly so, but we do have some other stronger storms in our area. So taking just a brief moment to step away from the tornado warnings, because as we take a look back a little bit stronger, we do have some definite stronger storms that are continuing to move into other parts of the Fox 26 viewing area, specifically those areas around Colorado County and Washington County, those western counties and Austin County. Those counties right now are getting some stronger storms that are a bit more organized. So we definitely are not going to leave leave focus on where we have tornado warnings. We just want to bring out to the fact that is other parts of the viewing area as well that need to be monitored. That line of storms that reaches all the way back towards San Antonio is very organized. We certainly have some other rain down near League City, but at the moment I just wanted to sort of bring up the fact that we do have some of those storms that are also moving into the western edges of our counties, and that's the reason why we're going to kind of remember all of us need to be ready with that very large area where we find ourselves under the tornado watch at this point in time.
Thank you so much for that, JD. And I also want to mention, of course, we've got a lot of fans in town. We kind of have a huge game going on this evening, of course, the College Football Playoff National Championship game out at NRG Stadium. Fortunately, that is a huge, sturdy building. There's a roof, so even if we did have severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, there might be some temporary impacts, but I think we'll still be able to get the game out of the way. But I'm more concerned for those of you that may not be in a sturdy building. You may be out and about, so just make sure that you are extra careful because these storms are still pulsing up, and we could end up having a few more severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, because we have a pretty high risk for severe weather for the area today. I want to show you this map. You don't see this that often for the Houston area. Normally, we have our severe categories ranging from non-severe, which would be a 0, and then we have 1 to 5, which would be the severe categories. And of course, 1 would be a very low marginal risk, and that's going to be over towards the Gonzales area. A 2 out of 5 risk out there for today is going to be Katy, down around Sugar Land, El Campo. But notice, boom, Houston is right on the edge of that 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms, including the possibility for damaging winds and a tornado. So you can see Houston right in that risk, and we also have an enhanced tornado risk. That is what we were really worried about for today, and especially coming on the day that we have the big national championship game. Even though that is inside NRG Stadium, like I said, we had championship tailgating that's supposed to be going on, a lot of other big events. So we want everyone in town visiting and everyone that lives here permanently to stay safe in these showers and storms, because we do have the potential for some severe weather. You did see that 10% tornado risk for central and eastern portions of the area. That means within 25 miles of a location, there's a 10% chance that there could be a tornado rolling through for today. So it doesn't seem like a high chance, but compared to what we normally have, it is a pretty high risk. So it's something we are monitoring closely. I also want to show you this map. This area shaded in the dark red is the tornado watch. So that's why I was saying earlier, don't let your guard down if you're not under a tornado warning. If you're in Houston or down around League City or Sugar Land or Tomball or Katy or Galveston, because we are all under the tornado watch through 9 p.m. So we're not out of the woods yet. We may not have a tornado warning for Houston or other parts of the area now. It's up towards San Jacinto and Polk counties, but we do still have the potential for this next round, this next line of showers and storms to roll in over the next 2 to 4 hours, and we could still have a few more tornado warnings. Now, if you're wondering, when will this line reach us? I think between 4 to 5 p.m., that line will be starting to push in to the Houston area, and that is when we will see more widespread heavy rain. The wind is likely going to pick up. I can't rule out some 50, 60, possibly 70 mile per hour gusts. We're already under a wind advisory where we could just have sustained wind gusting around 40 to 45 miles per hour, and the sustained wind around 20 to 35 miles per hour. So overall, still pretty windy even outside of the showers and storms. Now, we kind of gave you an overview of what's going on. I want to go back to our tornado warnings, because of course that is what is most important right now, because this is the most critical thing that we have going on, because this means urgent action is needed. A tornado watch means conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes, but a tornado warning means you need to take immediate action, and you need to certainly do that up around the San Jacinto and Polk County area. So we do still have this tornado warning here. This is up around San Jacinto and Polk counties. This is going to include the area of Livingston, although the worst of that storm is pushed to the north and east of Livingston, and we have yet another tornado warning back to the west of that one as well, up around the Israel area. So here is a closer view of our 2 warnings. Notice over around Onalaska and approaching Corrigan, we do have another tornado warning. So you can kind of see this little notch, or that kind of a little hook there east of Unalaska. That is the area of concern for the possible tornado, and that is racing off to the north and east. So if that holds together, that could come very close to you in Corrigan. So we will continue to monitor that closely. And we also have another tornado warning that is off to the north and east of Livingston. I want to see if we can get the tornado warning on there, and we do have that. And then we're going to try to put a little track on here as well. All right, it's moving to the northeast around 40. So once again, the main city in the line of that tornado warning would be the city of Corrigan. So if it maintained its current track and speed, it would reach you in Corrigan in about 20 to 23 minutes. So once again, this area of rotation, the possible tornado off to the east of Unalaska, and it is pushing north and east up towards Corrigan. And that is where we do have the potential for another tornado touching down. This is going to be up around Polk County. Once again, we also have another cell just to the east and northeast of that one. This is going to be now north and east of Livingston. These cells are moving pretty quickly, and this one also could still contain a tornado, and it is going to be basically to the south of Corrigan at this point. So we're going to be monitoring the National Weather Service updates to see if they have any reports of any additional tornado confirmations, of any damage coming from these areas. We did have the confirmed tornado earlier with this first cell. That's why it is shaded in purple, and we will continue to monitor to see if we get any additional tornado damage from these possible tornadoes. So JD, do we have any additional confirmations of any tornado touchdowns, any damage reports, any updates on any other warnings or watches?
Yeah, still kind of doing the same monitoring that we've been doing. They've issued that other warning that was a little bit further off near the Unalaska area. So continuing to keep up with the warnings. We're still looking at the same scenario where we've confirmed a storm with the one that was to the east, where we're looking at Livingston, and we're going to go ahead and take a minute to look a little closer at our velocity products here as far as trying to find that couplet where they're still looking at some of that possible rotation. Hard to find a whole lot showing up at the moment here. You can see a little bit of some of that green and red as it's close together, but we're still seeing that some of those storms are going to continue to show some of that strength as they continue to sort of move on into that part of our viewing area. I'm going to take a moment to zoom out just a little bit here so that we can sort of get that bigger picture about where we're talking. I know you might be in town, you might be in Houston, and you're visiting, and you're not familiar with our area. Well, the storms where the tornadic activity is happening at the moment are well to the north of the downtown Houston area. It's up around Lake Livingston, where we had that confirmed tornado in San Jacinto County. These storms now moving into Polk County, as well as trying to get into Trinity County a little bit as well. But it looks like mainly we're just sticking with Polk and San Jacinto County is where we're seeing those. And we'll look at that line stretching all the way back from Navasota to Brenham and continuing to see some of those storms form, and that's going to continue to happen as it goes back even further towards San Antonio, where we've seen some hail reports that have come through. That line is also what we're currently looking at as far as the cold front that's beginning to form a little bit. So we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on things and continue to keep it monitored as we're moving forward. And again, you'll notice we've got a confirmed tornado that was in the central portions of San Jacinto County. That has moved on and moved up into more Polk County. That's why that's flashing purple. Currently, that's going to go until 3:15. We're also looking at 2 more warned areas that are within the storms. All of this right around the Lake Livingston area is where we're looking at. And there are other storms that are strong. They don't have the rotation that we're seeing right now, but those stronger storms are also going to bring the possibility of hail and damaging winds. And right now you can see that those are the ones that stretch back towards Navasota and over into Brenham just a little bit. So let's look at that possibility for rotation right now is what we're examining. When we look at what we call our velocity product, typically when we look at a radar, we're watching rain that falls, and we can tell a whole lot of information by just watching how much rain and how intense that rain is. But our radar is also able to indicate what winds are doing within the storm. You've got winds that are going towards the radar, winds that are going away from the radar. That's what our red and our green are indicating here. We're not showing quite as much strength in that rotation right now, but you'll notice these little green areas that are popping up next to some stronger red areas. That's where we're seeing that rotation that's taking place, and we're continuing to monitor that as the potential, because our radar doesn't see what's happening right on the ground. Our radar is looking up higher in the sky, and so we could have a lot of rotation, that twisting that's happening in the atmosphere that's not actually down and touching the ground yet. Once it touches the ground, that's when you have the tornado. That's when the majority of the damage and the real threats to those of us on the ground are happening. But we'll continue to watch this area, as this is where the majority of the rotation is taking place. But as I mentioned, we watch these storms all the way back towards I-10, and you'll see a few warnings that are popping up along those areas as well. Those are the areas where we're seeing some stronger winds that aren't rotating. They're just straight line winds. And we're also seeing some hail being reported. So really, anywhere in between on this line of storms, we're going to keep that as a possibility. At the moment, we do have some strong storms that are in the downtown Houston area, or more near the downtown Houston area. These storms are what I'm going to call manageable at the moment. They're still dropping a lot of rain. That's still going to be a problem for us folks driving around. But the threat of that severe threat, meaning the damaging winds, the large hail, or a tornado, that's not happening right now within the Houston metro area, although we're certainly seeing some rain. And if you're thinking about a commute home down the Gulf Freeway or the Beltway down to the south, this is going to definitely impact you. That's going to be something that you're going to be concerned with. And of course, we've got a lot of activity that we're thinking about right now happening over at NRG, which is going to be more or less in our area right here. At the moment, not looking at those storms, and we're thankful that the storms are generally moving to the east. So we've got a little bit of a break for the moment at least, but remember that line that we've been watching, it's going to continue to move across, and as it does so, possibly could enter the loop area or the metro area of Houston, which again that's where we're looking at that main concern. So to the northeast, again, if you're just joining in or perhaps you're not that familiar with the Houston area, the northeast around Lake Livingston is where we're really watching that rotation that's taking place right now in the atmosphere, those tornadic storms. A confirmed tornado was on the ground in central Livingston area. It looks like we just got an update of another tornado that has been a warning that's been issued. I'll step off for just a moment. I'm going to correct that. I believe that was a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued, not a tornado warning, just currently. So we'll get the latest information on that severe thunderstorm warning